Hi guys, welcome to Shivasai Software Perseverance Software Training Institute. Alright, so in this particular video, we'll focus on what is backend and also we'll understood what is Django. Right, so Django is a very popular, very much popular framework these days. So let's understand what is backend and Django in this particular video. Alright, so you will be hearing here and there about what is full stack. All right, so let's firstly understand that. See, the moment you navigate to some website, for example www.xyz.com, right? The moment you log into that, I mean you navigate to that website via internet, some content, some data will be loaded on your web browser like Google Chrome or Opera, Edge, anything as such, right? So the data will be available. So that component is your front end where you are able to see some visual, I mean you are able to see some data or different stylings or a page via your browser. That particular component is called as your front end. And the moment what happens is, like, consider you have a sign up option. So consider that will be your first time of navigation to the website and you are trying to register you as a user, so with new user option or sign up option. So at that point of time, the data should be supplied via front end. Meaning of that is, so maybe if you click on something like a sign up option on this front end, right? So it again asks for what is your email, what is your maybe username, what is your mobile number, what is your password, any something like these, right? So all the data is supplied now. So now what happens is, once you supply the data, system should be able to store it somewhere, right? Why it should store? Because during the next login or further logins, right, you would be able to log in with the existing user details. So that detail should be placed somewhere. So that is called as database. All right, so don't worry about this, we'll come to this later. All right, so the moment you store, you try to create, upload, download anything of that sort, right? When dealing with the data will be stored and fetched from somewhere, and that somewhere is nothing but your databases. All right, that's fine. So the thing is, what is there in middle? See, the middle component is nothing but it is called as backend. So why it is called as backend, let me tell you. Firstly, understand that backend is a intermediary component between your front end and databases. So you got to know what is a front end, where you can visualize your web pages, right? You can able to see the web pages and interact with them. And databases are nothing but you store the data, you put in some data and you retrieve some data according to the requirement. That's fine. It is all about storing the data and managing it. All right, so what is backend? So backend acts as the intermediary component between your front end and your databases, right? So why it is more important to maintain a backend? Because so if a user has some data here, so instead of directly having the logic in the front end itself, we can maintain a component called backend. So here we maintain all the different logics developed in some particular framework. And what is a framework? It's a base, uh, you know um, it's a base for actually writing over your logics. Predefined stuff will be heavily there and you can just utilize them directly. All right, fine. So now, to make it simple, you interact to the front end, you supply some detail. The details are first flowed to the backend. So backend is nothing but we have many other backend solutions. If it is Python, we have Django. If it is Java, we have Spring Boot, something like that, which works with the database and retrieve the data and supply the data to the front end, right? Those are backend. So now what happens is, like, on the backend end, we have the logic to talk to the DB and get the corresponding information, or we have the logic for decision making, what to do, how to do everything as such. So now what happens is, user connects to the front end. if according to the requirement of the user, the data, I mean the workflow will then be flowed to the backend. In the backend, according to the logic, it connects to the DP, retrieve the information, and the information is then passed to the front end, and then user would be able to see it. So that is where backend is very, very important. Now, coming to what is Django here. Django is an open source web framework. All right. So meaning of that is actually, we have Python, right? So if you use Python, Django is a powerful backend solution. So Django became very famous because it actually helps developers build websites quickly with less code. If you got to know about Django, it have very powerful stuff at you know built in already, and that we can directly use and work with. So features can be developed very easily because a lot of the stuff is already available, and we will just basically get the stuff and work with that. That's it. So now if you see, it has built-in features like login systems, databases, so you don't have to create them from scratch. Also, it's securely scalable. It's secure, scalable, and easy to maintain, making it great for both small and big projects. So it can handle anything, any scale of projects. It being used in most popular sites such as Insta, Pinterest, Mozilla Firefox, and much more. So most importantly, we have very good documentation for Django. So which makes Django very, basically more productive, because documentation is very, clean and straightforward. So based on it, we can basically develop our backend solution, right? Okay, so before concluding this particular video, so you understood what is front end, what is back end, and what are databases, right? So front end is where user interacts. Databases is the place where the data storage happens, and back end is where, which is an intermediary part between front end and your databases, which acts as the point of handling, especially, and responds to the each request and each transaction. All right, fine guys, thank you. We'll get back with a more informative video. And just to highlight, so we are kick-starting batches both offline and online for Python full stack. So it is, everything is covered here, like you'll be able to learn front end like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, like that. And coming to the backend, you will learn Python with Django framework, and yes, we'll work with SQL DBs as well. So it's a master course. Interested can call out to our available numbers, which are available in the description below. We are also available on Insta and Facebook, YouTube. So please follow us or for more updates. All right, thank you guys. Yeah.